Oh, matchup number 2 of the Fraggle Rock playoffs. I say matchup number 2 because you both suck. No, I'm kidding. Great year by both of you guys. Get some incredible way to earn your way in. Despicable Me, way to hang in there, even though I know some of the things on your team didn't really go exactly as you were planning on for this season. But through some trades and some good free agent work, you made it into the playoffs. Maybe not with the greatest points, but with a good record, and that's all that really matters. 8-5, you are the leader of the Gorg, so you are the number 2 seed. Get some. Unfortunately, you are in a division with Wembley, so you are the number 3 seed. Going into it right now, ESPN actually has Get Some favored by 24 points this week. We'll see if ESPN's right, how close it's going to be, and whether next week is just going to be a walk-away or if it's going to be a nail-biter. Anyhow, the team, Get Some's team. We'll see how you do. A lot of this, all playoffs is the matchup, boys, and now it's all about how good your starting team is. Not a lot of bench players are going to make it unless if you got the Bulls to pull off a gutsy move. Get Some, throwing Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, who laughed at you? I think Peyton Manning went in the 6th round or something. Number 5 fantasy quarterback this year with just over 19 points a game going against Oakland. And just like I said, Demaryius Thomas is going to have a big day. So is Peyton Manning. Give him 21 points against Oakland. Oh, that Southern boy is back. Next, Stephen Ridley. Hugo asked me, asked me why I wasn't ripping on him so much for the trade and why I wasn't ripping on him for trade raping Get Some. When Get Some traded Jamal Charles and somebody else for Stephen Ridley. This is why. Ridley is the number 6 fantasy back in the league. Is he the name of the APs, of the Gore, of the Chris Johnsons, of the Arian Fosters? No. But he's on a really high-powered offense who's definitely a passing team. But just like Joseph Adai of old, Ridley fits that team really well. He's averaging over 13 points a game. And against a Houston defense, I think he only gets 9. But still a solid team and one of the reasons Get Some's in the playoffs. So it was a smart trade, and I think it's still going to pay off for you in the playoffs. Vic Ballard, the running back for the Indianapolis Colts, underrated as well. He's coming out of late. They're projecting him at 13. Decent Tennessee run defense. I'm going to say he's going to get 11, 50 yards on a touchdown. So that's going to be over average. We'll see if he keeps him or if he might go with somebody else. Steve Smith from Carolina has had a down year. He's out of the top 20 for receivers. But he's going against an Atlanta defense that does give up some points to receivers. We'll see how it goes. I think Steve Smith does not have a great game. He's going to have only 5 points, 50 yards. 50 points, not a good game. Long day. Andre Johnson going against New England with that porous as shit pass defense and the amount that New England's probably going to be scoring. Look for Andre Johnson to have a 20-plus point game. I'm saying 22 points for Andre Johnson. Brandon Marshall, one of the lone bright spots to the Bears' offense this year. I mean, that's take away Forte. He hasn't been doing great. Cutler's been on and off, but the one constant has been Cutler. I loved him. I try to trade for Get Some for 9 different ways to get Brandon Marshall. I even was giving up some good stuff, and he was having some holes at that time. He was down on his luck. I was going to give him, 2 good players for 1 better player to help fill out his holes. I thought it was a good trade. It was a good trade. He was smart. He stayed with Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall, number 3 receiver in the league. And I got Demaryius Thomas. So I guess it all worked out in the end. But Marshall against Minnesota, you got to like him. They're projecting him at 14, right on average. I'm going to say about 16 points for Brandon Marshall this week. Tony Gonzalez. Holy shit. Tony Gonzalez is outscoring Vernon Davis, outscoring Jimmy Graham. Tony Gonzalez is averaging practically 10 points a game. Who would have thunk it? Going up against Carolina, give me 8 points for Tony Gonzalez. He'll get 80 yards, but he won't find the end zone this week. Giants defense against New Orleans. I don't think I would want, even though Giants defense gets a lot of points, I don't see Breeze having, usually a great quarterback like Breeze is not going to have 2 bad games in a row. 5 interceptions, no touchdowns last week. Look for rage. I would be searching for another defense for this week alone. Robbie Gould going against Minnesota. He'll get some points. Give him 8 points for this week. Now, on to the number 2 seed. And favorite. I say favorite because, you know, he's the number 2 seed, so he should be favored. Despicable Me. Sorry, your team makes me sleepy. Quarterback. Colin Kaepernick. You son of a bitch. I can't believe you started Colin Kaepernick against me. Honestly, anybody with 49ers should have to bench them against me. I think it's just the rule. Biggest downfall this year for you, your quarterback spot. You went with Rivers. A lot of quarterbacks that have done a lot better than Rivers out in the draft, that was in the draft afterwards. Could have had Peyton Manning, for instance. Team would have looked a lot better with Peyton at the helm, I tell you. Or RG3, or hell, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson. God, I could keep going on. But anyhow, Kaepernick should be a very, very good fantasy quarterback for you. They're projecting him at 18 against Miami. I think that's right about on. Game last week, look for him to come out. And the Niners, as we can see after all their losses, have come out smoking the next week. Arian Foster, your lone, really bright spot on your team. Number 2 running back behind AP, averaging just under 18 points a game. Going against a New England defense who's actually pretty darn good against stopping the run. Probably because the other teams have pass on them so much. Because, hell, they're going to score a lot of frickin' points on you. Arian Foster, though, going to get a touchdown. Give him 16 points on the game. Chris Johnson, he's climbed up a little bit. He's number 12 fantasy running back, making the pick a little bit better for him. He's averaging just under 12. They're projecting him at 17 against an Indianapolis defense. I don't see him going in double digits this week. Give me 8 points for Chris Johnson. Beanie Wells. God, you thought you had MJD. Maybe that just did not turn out right for you. We'll see if you actually keep him around for your keeper. Is he worth a keeper anymore? You got to ask yourself that. He gets beat up a lot. Is he worth a top 3 round pick? I don't know. Maybe I would trade him. Maybe I wouldn't. But you're going to have to figure that out in the offseason. But instead, Beanie Wells, only 5 points. He's in your flex spot. Look for somebody else. A lot of receivers out there in this league that are going to get some points. Brandon Lloyd, New England's new weapon this year. I loved him. I was very angry that you got him in the draft. He's turned out to be quite a bust, but he's still making your final lineup. He's the 3rd or 4th option for Brady. I definitely thought with a deep threat he was going to be number 1. Didn't turn out that way. You're hanging on to something, brother. Got to get rid of him. A lot of young studs out there in this league. Reggie Wayne. Oh, sorry. 5 points for Brandon Lloyd. Reggie Wayne going against Tennessee. Wow, what a season for Reggie Wayne, though, huh? Kind of reinvigorated himself. We all thought that he was kind of done. He stayed with Indy with the new rookie. Rookies loved him. He's ranked 12th out of receivers. No one would have thought that coming in, including me. He's averaging over 10 points a game. He's going up against the Tennessee defense, giving me 15 points for Reggie Wayne this week. Kyle Rudolph, a surprising tight end. He's going over 7 points. He's going up against Chicago, who's actually very good against the tight end, mainly because they're very strong linebacking core. Give me only 6 points for Kyle Rudolph. Cowboys defense against Cincinnati. Projected at 0 points. I like Cincinnati, or like the Cowboys defense. I just don't think they're going to put up enough points to generate it. I might look for a defense with a weaker matchup. And then Dan Bailey, Dallas Cowboys. Give him 4 points on the day. After this week, Get Some is going to be winning by 16 points. It's going to be a little bit of a comeback needed for Despicable Me, but Get Some's hot streak continues. And prove me wrong, guys. Well, Get Some, I don't think you want to prove me wrong. But either way, good luck. And either way, no matter what, next week, guys, you're still in the playoffs. Latest.